Hello everyone, welcome to our very first episode of KEON4 ScreenTalk. We are going to have film professionals hosted here on our show. We are going to have a film review and critics right here on our podcast. We will also engage you as we continue to build a film from scratch to the end, together with you on several and different projects. So I welcome you to join us. Let us walk this journey. Welcome to our very first episode. Today we have a guest. We have a renowned thespian, a scriptwriter, and a film director. And we gonna have a chat here and there to be able to get to know more about what he has for us. Welcome, Mr. Martin.
Thank you so very much, KEON4. It's a pleasure. I'm really grateful indeed for this opportunity to share with you and our audience.
In this film industry, we have you, Mr. Martin. Who is Mr. Martin? Let's say an audience probably will want to understand who is Mr. Martin.
Right. I'm a thespian, a writer, producer, a director. I'm a creative arts artist, a developer, creator.
Yes.
I have been on the scene for quite some time now. I think almost spanning many decades. You can date it back to the 70s, but it even goes much further. Really, it goes as way back as the 60s when I was just a primary school going kid. I realized that I had an inclination towards drama, and I was one of these terrible boys. I was always being plugged off the TV by my parents, being told end or kalala or study or something like that. I was just an addict watcher, and in those early days of TV in this country and really in the world, because TV came to the world in the 60s. I used to be a big fan of the classic television show Bonanza, the cowboy series. You had Michael London, Lon Green, Dan Roberts, and Dan Blocker on the series. And we'd find ourselves imitating these cowboys at school at 10 o'clock when you have a school break. We'd be out there in the far end of the field and we'll be dramatizing maybe the episodes of Bonanza that we'd seen a little while. Or even the classic cowboy show, Rawhide. Rawhide is what introduced Clint Eastwood, the legendary Hollywood actor. Clint Eastwood was in Rawhide.
Era in the Jomo Kenyatta's. So what difference would you now say is between the modern, like now the current film industry and the one that was there before?
Film industry worldwide, because film is a global business, has been impacted by, I think now, 2 or so main different episodes of the process of transformation, growth, and expansion. Before, film was a highly mechanical, electrical, industrial complex. Filmmaking was, and indeed, Hollywood, which is the heart of film production, is an industrial town. Filmmaking was akin to manufacturing, and it went hand in hand with the development of the film technologies, like the invention of cameras and so on and so forth happened at the same time. The invention of sound recording things, the invention of the light, electrical things happened at the same time as the industry was building.
Yes.
So it was heavily industrial, electrical, and part of the industrial revolution. That's what's created Hollywood. And Europe is a cloning of Hollywood, and so is the film industry all over the world, the cloning of what's happening in Hollywood. Now, then, things went digital globally. If you were around at that time, you might have heard it. It was very insulting to be called analog. You know, people had to reinvent themselves. Otherwise, you are left to if you stayed analog.
So by then, you want to say probably most of the TV shows that were being showcased were on black and white or
color. I can't quite put the date on color, but I remember the 60s when TV first of all came. It was black and white. But then sooner rather than later, it was color. Film was color much earlier, much earlier. And so the important thing to note is the technology of filmmaking was heavily industrial, electronics, and also chemical. For example, film editing that is done today is electronic. People do it even on phones and what have you. But we used to have a machine called the stain bake. It was a huge machine where we threaded that film around it like this, and we cut it with pliers and stuck it with sellotape and so on and so forth to edit. You know, technology changed, and those machines were big, huge things. Today, filmmaking equipments are small.
Just using a digital camera, and then that's all.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would even wonder probably during the time, how are you communicating? Let's say you have a project from one to the other. Did you have phones during those times?
Yeah, things were telex, things were, of course, phone, things were letters until the internet. And so I want to note then the next major change again is the technology, the equipment, and the means of producing and selling and distributing product. It changed when the internet came and things went digital. So now that has changed, so that even the big cinema halls that we used to have to go and watch movies, we bought a ticket to go into a movie house to go and watch movies. It was something to look forward to. It was something outstanding. Young people dated, they didn't have families went to watch movies. It was something to celebrate and to cherish. So now that's changed. Now we do binge watching at home. You know, even in the offices and whatever. It's changed. The technology has changed. And therefore that has changed the way it's done then, as opposed to the way it was currently.
Looking at the field of literature, the likes of Pastor Mathew and some of the well-renowned writers, when you look at most of the Western countries like the USA, England, they have some of the feelings probably that have been inspired out of their written literature. Why is that difference compared to our Kenyan industry? Like right now, I'm trying to look at most of the film that have been produced. There's a big difference between how probably the Westerns are writing their script from a written literature now into a film that probably people are able to watch. Why is that not happening in our country?
First of all, there was just a phase where African writing gained a lot of currency. You know, when Chinua Achebe was writing, Professor Chinua Achebe, and writers of that caliber, the late Jody Graft, Professor Jody Graft, and people like Wale Soyinka, Nigeria.
Yes.
We have our Professor Gumba here. We remember people like Okot, even though famous for one big poem, Song of Lawino and so on and so forth. But there came a revolution when now African writers beyond those greats, Chinua Achebe, Soyinka, and so on and so forth. A new crop of people, Francis Imbuga, and so on and so forth in East Africa here. Heinemann Publishing House became very active in a hub of invention of young, new, very brilliant people who are writing novels which are being published. But this is one person. But then again, shortly after that, the publishing industry has gone down as far as I'm concerned in the country. Okay, I know there's a lot of self-publishing and so on and so forth, but it was not at the level at which it happened at that time. There was a movement which was very strong. And above all, what explains the reason there isn't any exploitation of materials written at that time by these greats, through these gallant men of letters, the publishers and the writers, is that the film industry in itself does not exist. We are just beginning to put a few things in place here and there, which, if with a complete government conscious push, legislation and allocation of funds, so that we can have grants for creatives to be able to operate. I hear.
So coming right on that, what do you think the government is supposed probably to do in order to see this industry growing better and better moving forward?
I like to see a film fund.
Yes.
Or film funds.
Yes.
Set up. Maybe one government.
Yes.
And even the private sector.
Yes.
Even private, public, they call it PPPs.
Yes.
All those efforts.
Yes.
You know, and even banks should know that this industry is big, creates a lot of people, generates a lot of income, can contribute to the GDP in a big way. So even banks should be able to finance films. You know, just get the basics of it through, get guided by Kenya Film Commission and organizations like those, and get to know how the industry works. It's a global industry, it's big, and it's got safeguards. So there's no.
Would it mean that probably looking at our nation, Kenya, probably we have not made some priorities right? Because when you look at other countries like Nigeria, South Africa, they're very, very visible when it comes to film industries, even in football and some other sports and events. They're also very, very, very active. So probably we will say that in our country there are some things that we are not doing right, or would it be that maybe this nation we are not taking film as a full-time job?
I'm glad you brought in South Africa and Nigeria.
Yes.
Because it is those three.
Yes.
Kenya, our Kenya.
Yes.
Nigeria.
Yes.
And South Africa that are being watched as the hotbeds, as the centers of excellence in film production in Africa.
Yes.
Everybody's looking forward to these places becoming big hubs where institutions and commerce and industry and production is thriving. We are very good. Our standards are good. Like I told you, a lot of people got international scholarships and went and study abroad.
Yes.
Kenyan film standards are quite good.
Yeah.
What we've not had a lot of emphasis in is now the developing of the stories, the creating of the screenplays that, you know, we are not applying ourselves enough in there.
But I think probably that would be maybe we are not given the much needed support.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It starts with that. The film grants.
Yes.
It's film grants, whether from government, from the private sector, from the PPPs.
Yes.
And we are a country known for table banking and what do we call them, cooperative movements. Please, cooperative bank, set up.
Yes.
You know, just get together with us people and you get the basics of film finance, you know.
Yes.
And I'm sure even in the international developed film markets, I'll be willing, they'll change expertise here. You can get experts even coming here from outside to come and help set up these things out here and train people and get us going and making it worthwhile.
Yeah, I think on that, also on that note, when you look at the film industry in Kenya, I think it's a very lucrative business that probably the only challenging thing is that it will take literally a lot of time to be able to build that profile, build a company, get all the much needed resources for you to be able to probably as a private sector person to venture into this industry. The government can support, but also private sectors, when they venture in this, they need to put the much needed resources into it and probably realize it out.
The private sector person,
Yes.
the entrepreneur
Yes.
in film production,
Yes.
is actually that writer who owns the IP,
Yes.
intellectual property,
Yes.
to any film work.
Yes.
The entrepreneur,
Yes.
the private sector player,
Yes.
who needs to be invested in and backed and facilitated,
Yes.
is you, all right, with your camera and basic film equipments,
Yes.
who can be able to put together a short film,
Yes.
and so on and so forth. It is you who needs to be invested. It is you who grows tomorrow and becomes big. It is you who grows and becomes big. So it's just a question of identifying these people
Yes.
and facilitating them. Right now, people have learned the basic skills. Some private education, online education, self-taught people are there. People who've got good schooling background, international film schools, and so on and so forth. And even locally now, the training is quite good. Universities are teaching, and so on and so forth. So, all the ingredients are there, but we need to make sure that the infrastructure,
Yes.
the value chain,
Yes.
which is the idea, develop it, pre-sell it,
Yes.
all right?
Yes.
Pre-produce it,
Yes.
produce it, post-produce it, then distribute it so that it reaches the audience out there. That value chain,
Yeah.
and that's how many people you'll be employing. And it's
Many.
big business because it's global.
So it can actually create opportunity even for those who are not yet employed.
I'm telling you, and you start at your level and you will grow.